Mark Torregrossa. A little bit of a hiccup in the internet connection this morning, so let's get right to it and show you what's going on. We're talking severe weather possible today. Not a real strong chance. I'll show you why. The timing is such. Hey, good morning, folks. Yeah. Uh, Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update brought to you by Lush Lawn. And I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. So we're talking about severe weather today. Most of it's going to be to our south, but it's still something to keep in the back of our minds and watch for really this evening. I'll show that to you in just a moment. We do have some wind and a cool down after that. And finally, and we know this has to happen. We know that cold can't last forever. Finally, we're starting to see the first sign of maybe a big break into spring-like weather. So, all right, let's get on to it. Here's the current radar, and what it'll show you is one of the reasons why we may be able to escape severe weather today. Somebody mentioning here thunderstorms. Yeah, I do think that's a pretty good likelihood, but severe weather, we'll see. So, showers and thunderstorms, thunder showers, let's call it. You know, every meteorologist is different. Hopefully you've been following me for a long time. This is the way I look at it. Thunder showers is what I use to term, mild, weak thunderstorms. A thunder shower to me is it's a rain and you hear a couple of rumbles of thunder, maybe see a flash of lightning. Thunderstorms are more vigorous, and then of course you have the severe thunderstorms. So thunder showers developing late this morning in through the southwest part of the state. I'll show that to you on the radar forecast here in just a moment. But right now, nothing going on. Now we get into just the brief first start look at the possibility of severe weather. The Storm Prediction Center puts us as a slight risk of severe weather in about the southwest quarter of the state. Now, us meteorologists have learned that we don't like the word slight risk because slight usually means don't worry about something. So we've gone to saying this is a 5-level scale and we're on level 2 of 5. It puts a different perspective on it, I guess, so to speak. So we're in the level 2 risk, and then the level 3 and level 4 are down to our south, Indiana, Illinois, and then down into Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, and whatnot. Now, when we break it down, and by the way, this is a forecast issued at around 2 o'clock this morning. So as we get, I'm sorry, they just updated this just now at 9 o'clock. So and they've held pretty well tight with exactly where they've had the tornado risk before. And you can see a 5% chance of a risk of a tornado within 25 miles of a point, of any given point. And that's from about Holland to Jackson to, I think I figured around Hudson, the southwest corner. And then a 2% chance all the way actually up to Traverse City and into the Saginaw Bay City, Midland area and the western part of the thumb. Chance of damaging wind gusts, 15% southwest corner, and chance of large hail at around 5%. So with their newest information, the Storm Prediction Center still sticks with the chance of severe weather, which I think is prudent, but we know that here in Michigan, it's kind of rare when it happens late in the evening and toward midnight, and especially if it's kind of in a marginal situation. So I'm going to be here to watch it for you, but we'll just see. A lot of folks are ready for thunderstorms, at least. And, a lot of folks are thunderstorm fans. So here we go with the radar forecast, 9, 10, 11. So the point is that Grand Rapids into Jackson and Lansing and Kalamazoo and Battle Creek, you get into showers and thunderstorms here in the next couple of hours. And these would not be the ones that have the oomph to produce severe weather. Although it's still slightly possible, but not the oomph, okay? And then by 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, a fairly widespread area of showers and thunderstorms possible from the northeast down through Saginaw Bay City, Midland to Flint to Detroit to Ann Arbor, Jackson, Lansing. And that is number one why I'm not super concerned about widespread severe weather, because thunderstorms and rain in the middle part of the day stabilizes the atmosphere. And thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms, really need instability usually to get going. And what instability means just means that the air is warm at the ground and light and humid, and it rises, it moves. Okay, so here's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Now, this would be the time period where the storms would become severe. So this is 6 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And that's typically what we see. Somewhere around 8 to 9, storms start to dissipate. So, you'd say Kalamazoo and Battle Creek and Jackson and Lansing have the best chance of severe weather. Highest chance. I shouldn't use the word best. Highest chance of severe weather. And then as we get to 11 o'clock and midnight, things start to quiet down. Yes, that is snow back in Wisconsin. That's the strong cold front, and our weather pattern will change with the strong cold front coming through. Okay, now a little bit, hey, good morning, folks. There's, what's this now? Hey, Mark from Cat Carafe Cannoli Podcast. Okay, whatever that is. Good morning. All right, so here is the European model. And it shows the cold front coming through. And then we get into tomorrow, should be dry, but it will be windy, could be gusts to 45 miles an hour. Now, what this is also showing is that showers, light showers Thursday night, and this is Friday morning into early afternoon and into Friday afternoon. So south of I-94 could be a little on the showery side Friday into even the Saturday morning. That's Saturday afternoon. Yeah, that's snow showers around Traverse City and Cadillac and Gaylord and Grayling and across the UP. And that's snow showers across the eastern part of the thumb Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. So it's going to cool down. Now, we've been watching for the possibility of some snow, for late April, meaningful snow early next week. It's still there. It's backed off a little bit. And remember, I told you, I think that the model that I like to look at out in the future sometimes overdoes that kind of storm. But it also shows for the first time a rapid let up of the cold air, which we know has to happen at some point. And so I'll show that to you here too. So this is early next week. We're still going to watch for the chance of disgusting weather Monday into Tuesday. Okay. And then you'll notice how, as we get to Thursday, the snow line shifts up into Canada, and that's a pretty good sign. And you can't see it from this, but I can, because of 32 years worth of watching this kind of stuff. That's a warm front and a full southwesterly flow. But I'm a big picture person, and I always like to look and show you out in the future. This is the format I love on Facebook for weather, because I don't have to stop. If I was on television, somebody already in my ear would be saying, stop, you've given enough, just give us the weekend, shut up. Next thing. I'm going to continue to go. If you want to listen, you can. If you're bored, you can log off. But I want to show you the possible big break in the weather pattern, okay? So let's go through today. Here's your cold front, strong cold front, strong storm system. Almost all of North Dakota is under a blizzard warning right now. And then we get into kind of the southern edges of that cold air. We watch for those showers in southern lower Michigan on Friday, where some people might be surprised. You won't be, of course. And then we go into the cold, and then we go into Monday and Tuesday and what I'll call a disgusting weather pattern. That right there on Tuesday is disgusting to us, as it has snow showers or rain showers and 40 degrees and yuck. But then notice the red as we get out into next Thursday, and I'll take it to the end of this, indeed 10 days out. But look at how the cold pocket has jumped 500 miles north up into, central Canada. And that is what we always see at some point when spring's going to take over. We see this jump. The warm air overtakes the cold air and changes a dramatic pattern. And a lot of you have mentioned that you think we go from winter right to summer. Yeah, I don't know if that's really true, but we do make these significant jumps. So the European model is starting to show that first day, but we know it has to happen. So we'll just keep an eye on that. And it's usually a slower jump than what the models show out in the future. But nonetheless, that tells me that when we get in the last week of April, we're going to see a dramatic turnaround. And just for fun, we're going to show you the reality forecast and the fantasy forecast. This is reality of today. We're going to make it to about 70 degrees in a lot of places. And then the reality of tomorrow is somewhat cooler, into the 50s. And then we go to the 50s on Friday, 40s in the north, and Saturday. Detroit and Ann Arbor still could be 50, but Grand Rapids might struggle to hit 40, and Saginaw struggle to hit the low 40s, and Traverse City might really struggle and be stuck in the low to mid 30s. Sunday, upper 40s. Monday, back to yuck weather in the 40s. And Tuesday in the low 40s, definitely yuck weather. And then low 50s. And then 60s. And then this is, again, that same model at 10 days out, showing the jump in the warmth. And yeah, those are 80s you see back to the southwest. Don't plan on that just yet exactly. But the point is, it has to happen. And here's a little bit of a aside for you. My wife is always asking me, for you, is this weather done? She's rolling her eyes. And I had to try to explain to her today. We have sudden stratospheric warmings in the winter. That warms the stratosphere, pushes on the polar cold air, breaks the polar vortex apart, and it comes down. And that usually happens a couple of times in winter. It didn't happen much this winter until late. Now, our last sudden stratospheric warming we usually call a final warming. It usually happens in late April, early May, breaks the polar vortex apart, sends one last cool blast down our way, and then it dissolves. I theorize that's why Memorial Day weekend in Michigan can sometimes be messed up, or sometimes it happens a week or so before that. Well, it looks like we're having our final warming now, and it started in early March, which would be an odd time for it. So it messes up late March and April with a disrupted polar vortex. But once that goes away, then the polar vortex is done. So in the end, this late March, early November chill, or late March, early April chill, could actually be a sign of a warmer than normal May on the way. Whew. A lot to that. We're going to cover the severe weather for you today. Watch out for this evening, especially I-94 southward. It would be fairly isolated, fairly quick, but you never know in these kind of situations. And I still advise you to park the good car in the garage this afternoon, because hail is often produced in these kind of storms at this time of the year. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. This has been supported by Lush Lawn, and you may see me again tonight. Take care.